food yesterday. Actually went out to eat at a restaurant overlooking the bay, outdoor restaurant. So, and brewery. So it was
Oh, so they
got
did
some
say.
fish and chips and beer.
Sounds good. Love fish and chips. It's very good. So the article that we heard, guys, was Texas. Texas governor says the virus is spreading at an unacceptable rate. I just read that headline. I don't know statement as to what the Texas governor plans to do about it. Interesting. Wow. There you go. I learned today that there's actually a day to celebrate onion rings. Well, if you wanted to trade something with a high RVOL, by the way, Mike, you should have traded EVOK. It's the highest thing I've got on any of my lists here at 3,300% RVOL.
Okay. Yes, high Arvold, low price stock.
Yeah.
What's the float on it?
It
Is it
is.
a mid float or a low float?
No, no. Well, yeah, actually, it is. I think when I looked at it, it wasn't a low float. So what is it? 23 million shares. Yeah. So
Yeah.
look at that. It is National
I
Onion Ring
consider.
Day.
Yeah.
Wow. How could we ignore such an important holiday?
I know. Should have been on our calendars. Popped up. Going into the last 30 minutes, huh?
We are.
Very surprised with Microsoft making a new all-time high that it's at like 83% ARBOL. Figured more people would be jumping in on it. There are some.
All right. Okay, got that
I'm
taken
not
care
quite
of.
sure, Norm, how you take your cat to work. Cats are not very friendly people.
National Take Your Cat to Work
National
Day.
Take Your Cat to Work Day.
That sounds like a really bad idea. Where do you like what? How do? How is that even a thing? How is it? How is Onion Ring Day a thing? By the way, but anyways.
I'm sure there's French Fry Day and Hot Dog Day too. So
Oh yeah, I'm sure there is, but why?
salt, salt, scorpion bulk something, bulkers, Scorpio bulkers.
I was hoping that Brian was going to join us. I really wanted to talk to him about the Credit Suisse's announcement of eliminating some of those key ETNs that we look at.
Mm.
Jared posted an
Yeah, I missed
article.
that news.
Jared posted an article. Let me repost it here. Like DGAS and UGAS and TVIX, they're pulling them. They're going to
CBO
delist
making
them.
more new highs now. Charlie Bravo Lima.
Whoop, let me turn off Benzinga. Forgot to do that. But yeah, delisting some of those ETNs is is going to have an impact, and they acknowledge it will have an impact overall in the markets.
Did they say why they were delisting them?
Well, I didn't really have a chance to read it in detail, but will come effective July 12th. They're going to suspend further issuances of New York Stock Exchange ETNs effective June 22nd. And on the NASDAQ on July 3rd. I don't know.
Very interesting.
Yeah, they don't really say. I mean, I'm sure that they've published some meaning somewhere. In this article, it doesn't, at least that I can see quickly in scanning it, it doesn't really say. Maybe you guys can read better than I can and catch it, but
Yeah.
premium.
So near, if you go up to the top of the chat room where it's been Zynga, and depending on what scanner you have, you'll either see Peter's or Andrew's face up there. It's that folder. If you click on that, that is the room drive, and that's where Thor's hot button Texas file is for you.
All right. Microsoft still hanging out here within 20 cents of 200. See if it can make it back over that in the next 23 minutes. I would like to think that it's going to, well, I don't know. It feels like it's going to try and close over 200, but that could just be me projecting. I don't know. Roku.
Yeah, I like that.
Towards the low of the day.
Roku's had a couple strong days. Not surprising that some people are probably taking profits on it.
Yeah, and Jay Hood, this is normally where we play the X-Files theme as soon as you mention the tinfoil hat line. But yes, the tinfoil hat line, as we call it, which is that candle, the 8 a.m. candle. And you will see that also has an impact. So AMD, I marked it this morning, and it came into play quite a bit. In fact, just a few minutes ago, it more or less bounced off of that line at 54.51, right before 3:30. So.
Good afternoon, guys.
Hey,
Brian. Good afternoon.
How's everybody?
Good. See, Peter, you asked, and look who shows up.
Look, I said I was missing you, Brian.
Ask and ye shall receive. Is that the
Yeah, I guess.
analogy?
There you go. Well, the reason why I said that I was missing you is because Ryan had shared an article that I just reposted in the room a minute ago. That Credit Suisse has announced that they're delisting a number of ETNs, including UGAZ and DGAZ and TVIX. As of July 12th, they'll be completely delisted and pulled from the markets.
I see. It's interesting.
There's a list of other ones. Those are the ones you usually talk about, but they've got U Gold, UGLD, Silver.
Right.
Gold, silver index, and then the inverse ones, the natural gas, the midterm futures, ZIV, VIIX. What is that? Oh, that's the VIX short-term futures. And then, yeah, TVIX. VIIX and TVIX.
Microsoft breaking above the 200 now.
Oh, look at that. Listen to me.
See if it can make a run to that high of the day.
Let's see what we got going on here. To restart my DOS for some reason. It wasn't working. Well, Space has had a good day.
Yeah, I didn't.
Nicola's
I was watching space. I never found a
Nicola
trade on
always
it.
seems. Yeah, Nicola's pushing higher. Looks like wants to go green on the day, or he wants to. Actually, it's already green. It wants to go to the previous day high, which is 69.80ish.
69.80. Yep.
Any no there's a few IPOs this week, but I don't think there's any today, right?
I didn't have any alarm for me today, but this week you are correct. There are supposed to be a few. Let's see what's upcoming here. Upcoming, yeah. We should have a few. I've got them all. Polypid. What the heck is a polypid? Some of these companies.
Another one of interesting words, polypid.
Polypid. PYPD is the. Anyways, yeah, that reminds me, Brian, I should actually set that up, make sure that all of my IPOs are properly recorded so I catch them. I think I've got them in here. Let's see, API, AKUS, ACI. Oh, I don't have that one. ACI. That's
One interesting move today that something looking weak is DraftKings has been weak all day, and it's well below previous day close, and it's been weak pretty much most of the afternoon. Interesting.
Fusion.
Big reversing candle on the daily.
PIPD, I've got. Double Down Interactive. Whoops. Yeah, if things follow the schedule, we should end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 IPOs today, this week. I mean, but only 6 of them I will follow. One is an acquisition company. I actually don't even alert our members to the acquisition company ones. They're usually 5-letter ticker symbols, and they're not really tradable. They're not something that you can day trade at all. So I don't even bother with them.
Yeah.
So. The biggest of them this week is actually Albertsons Companies, whatever that is. It's going to be priced somewhere between 18 and 20 bucks, 65.8 million shares. So that should be a nice big one we can watch for.
Big bid on DraftKings at 39. Looks like it's going to go there.
DraftKings.
Big bid, 39. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Quickly
Covering.
there.
Yep, covering some.
Oh, you shorted it, did you? Oh, look at that.
Yeah, well, especially especially when I saw that big bid at 39.
Look at that.
MU
Look at
for
you. Take advantage, Brian.
a swing. Yeah, always nice to come in and see a setup that you like. Let's take a look at MU for a swing. Somebody has, since Hart has asked about that. Kind of annoyed. I was watching LABU for a swing, and it opened down on the day. I noticed it at one point. I really should have taken it long because it turned into a pretty nice move today. Turned into a nice mover. I always miss that. MU. Well, semis have been strong today, so you've got NVIDIA's up 2.5%. MU
and,
only up 0.25%.
Did it?
AMD's up 0.9.
NVIDIA set a new all-time high earlier today.
I don't know. I see MU's kind of in no man's land. I mean, we had a reversing doji on Friday. We've had a bunch of really kind of what I would call doji candles over the last 5 days, 5 trading days.
Microsoft making a new high of the day.
New all-time high, yeah.
Yes. Oh, SPY is pushing higher. I don't know. It feels like MU's can't make up its mind whether to stay. Let's see, where's the low of today here? 50.24. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I mean, I can't call MU one way or another. Kind of
Yeah,
looks.
MU, because I watch
stuck.
MU a lot, and right now you're absolutely right. It's just kind of stuck in this range.
Yeah. Yeah, and those candles aren't telling you anything at all. What else we got going on here? Okay. Neo was, some people were watching Neo this morning. It kind of came off big high today. Oh, earnings coming up on MU. You're right. Actually, aren't we getting back into earnings season? Look at Lulu.
Feels like we just rolled from one.
I know, but that's
Yeah,
kind of
that's
the
what
way it
it feels
works.
like.
When is MU 29th? So a week from today.
Yeah. June 29th. And it usually starts out with the banks. Let's take a look at when JPM reports again. JPM reports on July 14th. So we got a few weeks.
Is anybody in Microsoft?
Still blowing higher.
Yeah, we don't really have
Now
any major.
it kind of blew up, and now it's kind of pulling back. But we're coming up at that typical 350 time frame.
Yeah. Today might be
Right,
interesting to
Peter?
watch it there. Yeah.
So interesting to see what happens.
Let's take a look at Intel. Intel's obviously probably taken a bit of a hit today because of the Apple news. Because that wasn't really new news.
Well, here was the interesting thing, Brian. When some of the news came out, it actually popped up by a little over about $1. You can see that on the chart.
It's kind of weird, eh?
Well, I think, and the members in the room helped clarify it, but we knew that Apple was investing in its chips, which are going to replace the Intel chips in their devices. But the announcement today said that it's going to take them about 2 years to make that happen. And I think it was that 2-year delay which caused the Intel to jump up, which, again, in my experience in complex manufacturing processes, if they say 2 years, it might be 3 or 4. So we'll see what happens. But I think that's what gave it the pop.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Nicola's looking interesting here. Strong into the close.
Excuse me. My goodness.
So, Mike, Peter, trades today, if any?
Yeah, quite a few for me. Nothing major though.
Really?
I said my best trade was Beyond Meat. It's funny because I was right with you this morning, Brian, watching the markets. I didn't take my first trade till about 10:15. I just didn't find anything I liked right off the open, and but had some trades. I mean, I think every trade I've taken today has been green. Just nothing. I didn't get any of the big runs.
Mm-hmm.
I did take a live trade on AMD with our members here earlier this afternoon when I was filling in on Thor's time slot.
Cool.
So that was cool. That was fun.
Nice.
Nice.
So here we are.
Yep, I didn't take it.
I didn't. Microsoft didn't do much of anything at 350.
Yeah. It did not.
No,
It just kind of bounced around that 200 level again.
Yeah.
Nicola's going through this. What is it? 69.80. Yeah, there it goes. This is high, previous high day.
Excuse me. My goodness.
Let's see what's going on.
Oh, so what's we got a question here?
Oops.
Brian, if I could
Beyond the air.
relate a question to you on
Yes.
on your favorite Donkey Kong, DKNG, Gator Trader on Facebook, YouTube, one of those social media
YouTube,
platforms.
yeah.
Anyways, on YouTube,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
asking, how did you know to avoid the morning/midday slow grind back up?
Well, I didn't trade sort of after, what was it? After 11 o'clock, I was just around just for an hour and a half, roughly. And so I didn't intentionally, but I kind of didn't like the way the market's been a little bit more challenging to trade, I would say, in the last couple of weeks, because we have tended to flatten out a little bit here. When a market's trending higher all the time, it's kind of easier to find winning trades. Everything's rising tide floats all boats, but now it feels like we're getting a little bit choppy here. So
Nothing big
I
on
guess
the earnings front, except
No.
that Beyond Air.
Yeah, Mac was asking if we're gonna watch Beyond the Air. But I did see it there on the list, but I mean it didn't seem that exciting. I mean, let's face it, their revenue is like
Oh no.
their revenue isn't even $1 million in the quarter, so it's not anything that I can't imagine. If I look at it right now, what do you want to bet? I haven't looked at it. Like 50,000 shares traded today? Oh, no, 394. Okay, well, it's a little more than I expected, but still. I mean, they haven't even hit 1 million shares, so that doesn't get my interest. Does not capture my interest. And that's 200% RVOL, which means they normally trade, 180, like under 200,000 shares. So
200% R-ball with 384,000 shares traded.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Nicola, this NKLA, Brian, wasn't able to break that yesterday's high, or Friday's high, I should say.
No.
Came close.
No, you can see that's always an important level to have on your screen, because those often are areas where support or resistance will happen. So it never hurts to have them marked on your screen.
Guys, man, it really feels like Microsoft wants to close like right at 200. Like it is just hovering around right
Doesn't
here.
it?
Yeah, they probably want to stick it right there.
Yeah.
And that one little pop at 345 just to get it all the way up.
Yeah.
And it came back down, and now it's just
Somebody-
hovering.
I'm willing to bet you somebody's got a bonus riding on whether Microsoft closes above 200 somewhere. So
Somewhere in that organization.
not even in Microsoft. I'm thinking somewhere in Wall Street, somebody's got something tying
There
into
it goes again.
that. I know. I just saw that pop.
New
Like
all-time high.
30-cent pop there almost.
$0.01 by 1 cent. Oh no, 2 cents. I'm sorry. The previous was 2.27. Oh, here we go.
Oh, Mac, that's a dad joke, Mac. We'll give you the honorary dad joke seal of approval on that. A day late for Father's Day, but he's saying that
Dad.
Beyond Air's revenue is
Yeah.
full of hot air. So,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that's all I have. Thank you, ladies and germs. Shows hourly on the hour every trading day.
Got a large.
DKNG. Are you still holding some, Brian?
Got a large.
What's that?
Are you still holding short some of your DraftKings? It's still moving down.
No. No, I just took it through for that punch through the level, whatever that was.
Oh, well, then don't look at it. It's not doing anything interesting.
Okay. Dang.
I think Microsoft's going to test this 250 level.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see it moving up like this, but here
Wow.
we go.
DraftKings is getting annihilated.
There it goes.
Man, oh man. I wonder what are some of the other gaming stocks doing? What's Penn doing?
Mr. Portnoy is not going to
bad.
have enough money to keep trading stocks himself at this rate if his company is going down.
I know. No, Microsoft just wants to go higher. Just everybody's just flooding into that stock. Wow, look at the SPYs just popped up.
See, this is the move I was expecting when Microsoft broke 200 the first time. When I said, hey, it wasn't showing a lot of enthusiasm for it. That's, it only came up in barely 20 cents, and then you saw, guys, what happened. It dropped by $1. Next time it broke again just over 20 cents. Broke down now for the third time. Finally, looks like it's going to hold. Well, fourth time, I guess, because it happened earlier too. But anyways, for sure into the close now, it's going to be holding well above 200, which means we're going to see some activity on it after hours, and then tomorrow morning, definitely Microsoft. I can't imagine it not being on my list. So.
There goes Nicola.
Yeah, there's a ton of volume going through it right now.
Nicola.
There's Nicola. No, I think that's Ricola.
Oh, damn.
So close.
The last 15 minutes of Microsoft, it's basically the second highest candle for the day for volume. I think there's another one that might be just a tad bit higher on it, around noon, but
1.6 million shares, yeah, right at noon. What are we sitting at now? 1.4. It's got a minute. It's got a minute to get you another 200,000 shares.
We're 1.5 now, so.
There you go. It's getting there. Looks like it's going to do it.
That is a difficult name to pronounce. I'll let you try, Peter.
Whoa.
I can't even pronounce common names.
Jablonski. R.P. Jablonski.
R.P. Jablonski. All right.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Uh-oh. Whoops. Shut down the chat room by accident. Here I am. Did you miss me?
Look at that candle on Microsoft.
There we go.
Yeah.
Microsoft's definitely going to be on my list tomorrow. That's for sure.
Accidentally closed the chat room there. That was a hitting wrong button moment.
So here's an interesting little tidbit of info.
Mm-hmm.
Peloton,
Yeah.
who obviously are an exercise business, 2,000 employees, losing money. On a market cap basis is worth more than International Paper with 51,000 employees and pays a 5.8% dividend.
Wow.
Wow.
So how weird that valuations are.
In the last, but that's been the way ever since the dot-com boom, right? Like, dot-com boom blew the roof off it. We used to say, I worked for Nortel back at the time, back at the sort of turn of the millennia, turn of the century. And
Yeah.
sounds like a really long time ago, but it was the turn of the century. Anyways, and we used to say, oh, well, that we used to work in web years, and so that it sort of changes everything. And it didn't change some things as much as we expected, but it did change our perspective on what the valuation of a company was. And that's one of the things I've noticed has stayed. So, Brian, exactly to your point, right? If you look at the valuation of a lot of recent IPOs, especially tech companies, to this day, they're just they're ridiculous, right? Like, look at Beyond Meat. I think somebody did the same thing, like Beyond Meat's valuation, and it's a company a fraction the size of like Tyson Foods, but its valuation is greater than that of these large established companies with thousands of times more employees, et cetera, et cetera. So
yeah,
it's fascinating to see.
It's a little peculiar. So CCL popped up right at the close.
Yeah, I saw that. Looks like Thor was trading that into the close. If so, well done, Thor.
I wonder if I haven't got Benzinga running with some news out. Because right now I think they all pushed their opening back, or their cruise schedules back.
Yeah, I don't see any news on CCL.
No.
Oh, Thor, 664. Oh, that's the trade from this morning. You were still in it. I remember you announcing that trade, Thor. So he was trading it ever since it hit the low around 11 a.m. And you just held on to it, eh? Well, good for you. Wow. I've never had any Beyond Meat, TK, so I don't know. I can't personally comment to whether it's good or bad.
No.
I've seen it in the grocery store, and it didn't entice me to buy it, to be honest. But other than that, like, I don't know. It could taste fantastic for all I know. But I can't say I've gone out of my way to try.
The sausages are the worst.
Are they really?
The sausages are worse. Oh. Did you see the sausages Beyond Meat?
I did.
Sausages? Oh, they look terrible. Like I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't put one of them in your mouth?
I couldn't even put it in my shopping cart.
Good point.
Let alone put it in my mouth.
Oh, that's really bad.
Okay. Be like one of those cartoon things you put in your cart, and the cart actually spits it back out. You see it come flying out of the cart.
It probably could. It probably could.
Well, said I haven't tried it. I think someday I have to, just because. But X-Air, in case anybody really cares, X-Air. They missed on sales. They only delivered 200,000 in sales versus the 300,000 sale. We're talking total dollars here. $200,000 of sales in the quarter. Their earnings per share beat. They were supposed to lose 38 cents a share. They only lost 36 cents a share. I guess that's good. Again, I can't see it mattering. But there's the numbers in case you wanted them.
No. Beyond Air. Falls flat.
It's not doing much.
No. Well, it didn't do much when the markets were open, so.
No.
With that, I know we had a couple of questions of people that were interested in some webinars we've done recently. And once again, thank you so much for the huge amount of interest we've had in like the webinar I did last week, which is on what I called my mountaintop strategy, double tops and double bottoms. We've had a lot of interest. You do need to be a lifetime member to get access to our webinars. So as a lifetime member, the best way, if you're not a member, is to take advantage of our discount code, which is Independence40, to get 40% off the one-time payment option for lifetime membership. So consider joining and as a lifetime member. Then you get all our material forever. So it's definitely worth it. But if you wanted to just try us out, see what it's like being here in the room, getting the live calls like I mentioned I did on AMD earlier, and Brian does through the open with Andrew, and then the rest of our moderators do throughout the day, like Norm, for example. He traded... What did he trade? He was trading live on a NCLH, maybe? I think that's what he was trading. In the event, I know he was live trading earlier today. You know, we all sort of do that and call our trades, and it gives you an idea of what's happening in the market, and you can sort of play along with this. So feel free to join us. Use the code ClosingBell24 to get a 1-week trial for only $24. This week we do have some seminars. Maybe Mike, if you're still there, you can tell us about what's happened this week. Why don't I start with the psychology stuff, because that first one's on Tuesday.
Yes. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be going over mental resilience for trading. It's about dealing with the hardships that you go through with trading, right? So, and even some of the good times that you experience, because a lot of times you can get overconfident and have just the same type of reaction as if you're going through a losing streak. But it's really designed to help you deal with handling trading and outside of trading and being able to handle rough times, because unfortunately, if you make trading a career, you're going to experience some downturns. It's not all going to be green, and it's not all going to point up. So we're going to discuss that on Tuesday. And then
Nice.
this evening, we have the onboarding class with Carlos at 8 p.m. Eastern for anybody that has an intro membership or anybody that just wants to come in and learn, if you're new to the community, learn about what the community is about. Carlos and I will be there. We'll answer your questions and take you through a tour of what the community is about.
Whoops, there we go.
Are you frozen, Peter?
No, sorry. I am frozen. My screen is not. So sorry, I was clicking on the wrong thing. I was actually clicking on my shared screen, wondering why it wasn't changing. So user error.
User error. And then this Wednesday, with highly anticipated how to analyze volume and price action. Thor is going to be giving that, and I know everybody in this room is going to be excited to see that, as he trades those indicators better than anybody here that I've ever seen. Being able to catch the low of a stock and be able to ride it all the way up all day long. So, and a lot of that is through the volume and price action that he applies. So you'll be able to learn all about that. And then the following week, Eamon will be talking about how to catch a falling knife safely so that you don't stab yourself.
That's always important. If you're
That could
try,
be important.
Good points. However,
yeah, if you're going to try,
So-
whoops, you don't want to stab yourself.
No.
All right.
Which is actually, I think, will be a good supplemental webinar to yours, Peter, because you talk about catching stocks that are at the high of the day or the low of the day with the Mountain Pass. So,
Well, both of them, I mean, it all sort of feeds into the ability to build your own strategy, and we're giving you just different perspectives on tools that you can use. So, you know, I talk about volume price a little bit in my Mountain Pass. It's one of the elements I say you can, you know, use as a factor and you can consider. And then you're absolutely right. Like Eamon's seminar will tell you, if you didn't, you know, if you're seeing things that are acting more like a V reversal, that's how he's going to be able to help you identify those. He plays those extremely well. And sometimes I try and emulate him, but like you said with Thor, we all seem to have our specialties. And I can't trade them as well as Eamon does, but he's doing it successfully every day, so worth listening to. All right, guys. Well, with that, let's call it a day. We're back. Pre-market show at 8:30. The open the room at 7:30. Brian, thanks for joining us here this afternoon.
All right. Have a good one, everybody.
Thanks.
Good afternoon. We'll
Yep.
see you in the morning.
Take care.
Have a good afternoon.
All right, take care, Mike. Talk to you guys.
Yep, you too, Peter. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, you certainly will. Take care, everyone.